Hi, hello and welcome back to Phoenix Dreams. Today is the turn of the science theme of my channel. Now, I haven't really come up with a name for this. Like I have a name for the English Grammar Vocabulary Edition. I call it Speak Right with Sid. I haven't really come up with the name for the science theme, and I haven't really thought of it too. So why don't you guys help me? Come on. I mean, what we can do is think, get your creative juices flowing. And suggest a name for this part of my channel, where I talk about science and sci-fi, science fiction, and put your suggestions in the comment section. If that's something that really clicks well, I will adopt that name and will call it that. By next week, however, I'll anyway think of something and give it a name. But if it's something that one of you guys suggests, it'll be great, right? So think about it. Now, let me start today's topic, and what I'm going to talk about today is something which is really interested all of us, humanity over a period of time, something that has really piqued our curiosity, and I'm talking about time travel. Is it possible to travel in time? Some people would want to go back in time to see if they can change some things that have happened in the past. Some people would love to go to the future. I ended up saying back to the future because it's a common term. Some people would like to go into the future to see where they are and what's happened to them in a few years from now. And this curiosity of ours has been piqued by the movies as well, and that's the reason I said Back to the Future, because that's such a cult classic that defines time travel. So if you haven't watched it, watch it. Then there have been other movies as well, X-Men: Days of the Future Past, where Wolverine goes back in time and alters it. Recently, one absolutely phenomenal movie by Christopher Nolan, Interstellar, that really and a lot of what I'm going to say today is based on my understanding of what is mentioned in that movie. So yeah, movies have really put more fuel into our imagination as far as time travel is concerned. And not just movies, even literature, and as far as back as the 19th century with H.G. Wells and his book Time Machine. Time travel and moving back and forth in time is something that has always interested us. So yeah, that's what I'm going to talk about today. Whether it's science fiction or reality, it's for you to think about, because I have a few thoughts about whether it's possible or not, and let me share that with you. So before we talk about time travel, really, we need to talk about our three-dimensional world. We need to talk about dimensions. So let's understand what dimensions are. Dimensions, as we understand them right now, as per our world, there are three dimensions. There is also the zeroth dimension, which is just a dot. No length, no breadth, no height, just a dot. That's a zeroth dimension. A one-dimensional geometrical figure is a line. Now, it might be the length of something, the breadth of something, or the height of something, but it is just one dimension. It is measured in centimeters or meters. It's distance. That's one dimensional. Then anything that is two-dimensional is basically area of a surface. It has two of the one-dimensional measurements together, either length and breadth, or length and height, or breadth and height, or depth instead of height. So it's two-dimensional, but it's a plane, it's a surface. And then you have the three dimensions, which is volume, and which is the world that we live in and we comprehend, which is length and breadth and height. So if we talk from mathematical point of view, it has the x-axis, the y-axis, and the z-axis. So those axes are actually dimensions. So we live in a three-dimensional world where we have length and breadth and height, and we have volumes for everything. Now, let's imagine two-dimensional worlds. Now, let's say that now two-dimensional worlds, like I said, are just planes, are surfaces. So in our three-dimensional world, it is possible that we coexist with infinite number of two-dimensional worlds. Just, layers and layers of two-dimensional worlds on top of each other, coexisting along with us as we are over here. Layers and layers of them on top of each other. Maybe we can't see them because they exist in those wavelengths of light where our eyesight, our vision cannot see beyond those wavelengths, beyond the infrared and the ultraviolet, beyond red and violet. That's why we really can't see them, but they might be existing all around us, above us, below us, infinite number of two-dimensional worlds. Now, just imagine if one of us evolves and is able to see beyond the visible spectrum, then you might be able to see those two-dimensional worlds below you and above you. Let's say I look at one two-dimensional world, and there are two-dimensional entities living in that world. Now for those two-dimensional entities, they only understand length and breadth. They do not understand the concept of up and down, because that doesn't exist in their world. So if they have to move, they can only go forwards or backwards or to the left or to the right. They can't go up, they can't go down, because they don't understand up or down. But I, on the other hand, the evolved being, can see the two-dimensional world. I know the concept of up or down. So I look at that two-dimensional world. I see those beings in the two-dimensional world. I pick one of them up into the third dimension, which I can comprehend. And I put it back in the same world, but at some distance behind or forward or to the left or to the right. Now just imagine what's going to happen in that world. That entity is suddenly going to disappear because it's gone into the third dimension. And after a while, when I keep it back down there, it is going to reappear in a drastically different place. So it's just going to disappear from here and reappear there. Because they can't see it moving up and coming down again. It just disappears from view. Now the point I'm trying to make here is that like we might have infinite number of two-dimensional worlds coexisting with us, layers and layers of them. Similarly, we might be one of the infinite three-dimensional worlds which lie layer upon layer upon layer in a four-dimension world, right? Now, it is said that the fourth dimension is time. So, for those people in a four-dimensional world, they understand four dimension, they understand length, they understand breadth, so they can move forwards and backwards, left and right. They can move up and down because that's the third dimension. Their fourth dimension is time, which means they have the ability to move forwards and backwards in time. So if one of these four-dimensional beings looks at our world and picks one of us, let's say picks me up from the fourth dimension and picks me up in the fourth dimension, which means now I am in the dimension of time, and puts me back in our world, forward or behind in time. What's going to happen is I'm going to disappear from view in this world and I'm going to reappear maybe 2 years back, 2 years ago, or I'm going to reappear 2 years hence. And that's time travel for you. So time travel, is it possible? Yes, but with some external help. If there exists a four-dimensional world, and if one four-dimensional being, entity, picks one of us up through the fourth dimension and puts us back or in the front in the fourth dimension, we will travel in time. Now, this is something which, like I said, has piqued the curiosity, and this thought came to me from Interstellar by Christopher Nolan, a phenomenal movie once again, like I said. And in fact, in that movie they talk about the fifth generation as well. So yeah, is time travel possible? Yeah, I think so. Right now, not on our own, but with the help of external four-dimensional beings, maybe it is. Maybe we will ourselves one day really invent a time machine where we can travel in time, but till then we might have to depend on external help. Right, that's all I have for you. Think about what I said. Like I said, it's a very interesting thought and idea. Time travel has, like I said, always has been, making us curious. So think about it. Tell me what you think about it in the comment section. And if you like what you watch, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much.